Hi, this is Henk, and welcome to another edition of the Soul Sessions. And today my guest is Tricia Copeland. Is that correct?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, so let's talk about what you got going on.
Well, I'm an author and I've published over 20 books. So I'm a little bit obsessed with writing and publishing, but I have books from YA fantasy to romance to dystopian sci-fi, kind of all across the genres.
Do you have one that you prefer, like one style, or like you like to mix it up?
I like to mix it up. Yeah, I mean, even though my YA fantasies are young adult, like a lot of the characters end up being in peril a lot of the time. So I kind of give my break an emotional, I guess, or my psyche an emotional break by writing the fun romances in between my fantasy stories.
Okay, I know there's more than one way to do young adult, and like I was talking with Jeff Strand, and like when he does young adult, like he's like the way I angle it is just told through people who happen to be that age, and there's some stuff where I'll read it is like I feel like they're talking down to me, like I guess it's for like a younger audience, so like they kind of angle it towards what they think that younger audience would want to hear. So I don't like it when they angle it like that because I'm like I feel like they're leaving stuff out. But when it's like through the eyes of a person that's that age, it makes sense.
Right. Yes. I define young adult as the age of the character or the main characters in the story. So all of or most of my yeah, almost all my novels are from first person point of view. So you're getting that person's point of view, how they're experiencing whatever they're experiencing, and from their viewpoint. So my characters are most of them are 15 plus characters. So going through some kind of coming of age questions, finding yourself, figuring out where you belong in the world and where you want to be, whatever world that may be in. I put my characters in some pretty interesting worlds. So.
So whether it's sci-fi or fantasy or whatever genre you pick, is that your main focus? Is like you have a character and they kind of like find out what they are over time, like how they relate to whatever world they're in.
Yeah, my books tend to be character driven. They tend to start with a character with some type of challenge. I mean, my Kingdom Journal series, there's a trinity of witches who have to come together. They have to find each other, number one, and then they have to figure out how to break this curse on the witch lines. So, and they're also in the middle of other turmoil. Personally, one character is a vampire witch hybrid who doesn't know where she should be. Should she be with the vampires? Should she be with the witches? Another character is just finding out that she's a witch and has magical powers. And so they're all kind of, I mean, kind of those first coming of age challenges and questions, along with bigger challenges and questions like how to save the witches from eternal doom.
Okay. So is there like there's some stories where it's like more about the character's evolution, and then some sorts where like they have to accomplish some goal or like get rid of some problem or something. Do you introduce that, or is it more just the characters and like their evolution over time?
It's both, yes. It's definitely, there's always some quest associated with the books, like the curse and the witches. In my Fae series, there's an evil witch spirit hunting the fairies and the Fae, and the main character has to figure out how to get rid of her. So they have those kind of epic fantasy quest feels
So
along with the
it's
personal
kind of
development.
like you discover what the character is as they accomplish these goals.
Sometimes, yes, and they themselves discover sometimes like latent powers or powers they didn't know they had, and they have to kind of hone to accomplish their goals.
Okay. And you're saying they're all from the character's perspective, so they're all first person.
Right. Yes.
Okay, and do you do like first person present tense, so it's like immediate, like in your face?
The Kingdom Journals, which is the Witch series, is a past tense because I wrote it like they were writing in a journal, like you would write in a diary. So they're
Okay,
telling you the story past tense, but the Realm Chronicles Fae series is present tense, and a lot of my other ones are present tense as well.
okay. Roughly how long would they be?
Usually they're 350 to 500 pages long.
Okay. And are they all like connected? Do they have like a similar like continuity, or are they all different?
Right. So the Kingdom Journals, like I said, is a set of 5 books in the series. There's 4 books plus the prequel. And then the Realm Chronicles, the Fae Fantasy series, is actually a crossover series to that. So you have some of the characters going back and forth. You see them in both series, but it continues the main goal of getting rid of this evil witch spirit.
Okay. So, but you said like some are sci-fi, some are fantasy. So they don't all live in the same world.
No, like I said, the Kingdom Journals and the Realm Chronicles is all one world. It's a contemporary world. The fairies just live in a different realm from the humans. But then my dystopian sci-fi, the Lovelock series, is a separate series, and then I have my Perfect Romance series, which is a separate series from that as well.
Okay. And so is there any like continuity between them? I mean, other than obviously you wrote them, so you have like you have like your perspective and your take on things, but like they're not like they wouldn't meet each other.
No, probably not. That would be a pretty interesting mashup of our contemporary romance characters, meaning the witches and the vampires.
Okay, and are they all available now? They're available as books.
Yeah, they are all available now. I have a new release coming out in June or June 2nd of 2026. So that's my perfect series, perfect secrets romance book.
Okay, and where's the best way to like? I what I try to say is I go in find bookstores everywhere, but like, would the best place to get it be like on Amazon?
Yes, the ebook is on Amazon, Kindle, and Kindle Unlimited, and then some of the paperbacks are wide wherever you can buy books.
Okay, I know a lot of stuff is like you can buy it like in Barnes and Nobles or wherever, but sometimes it's not on the shelves. You have to order it. Is it on the shelves or do you have to order it?
You have to order it, yes.
Okay, and do you have a website where they can go like check out what you have going on?
I do. It's triciacopeland.com. So you can go there and find all my books.
Okay, do me a favor and spell it out because some people watch this, but some people just hear it on like Spotify or Apple podcast. So like for that audio component, please spell it out.
Of course, Tricia, Tricia, Copeland, Copeland. So triciacopeland.com.
Okay, and what do you have out? Like you're saying, like you have all these different genres that you like kind of delve into. So you have how many books in the current genre? Are you going to keep that going? How many books in the dystopian sci-fi? Like, tell me what you got planned.
Right. So my Kingdom Journals and my Realm Chronicles YA Fantasy series are both complete. We may have some spin-offs from that world, but right now the series is complete. My Perfect Romance series are all standalones, so I can keep producing books with new characters in that series. The Love Like series, there's 2 books in the series, Love Like Ones and Torch. That is a 2-book series right now, and hopefully I will be concluding that series. Let me see. I'm trying to think of what other series I have. The Being Me series, which was my first series I wrote, is a 4-book complete series.
Okay. And do you have one that you have like much more story to tell? Like if they're all first person, I would take it that one character as opposed to like a whole realm where you have to bring it all to life. But do you have any that like you're like there should be more to go along with this?
Right. Well, in the Kingdom Journal series, it actually each book tells a story from a different witch's perspective. So we get a different character's perspective as the story progresses, which is a lot of fun because you get each character's backstory and you learn more about them as well as continuing the overall story. So that was a lot of fun. But the main antagonist, the evil witch Sonia, is portrayed throughout the Kingdom Journals and the Realm Chronicles series. And my next project, I think, in that world is going to write her backstory. So basically, a villain's backstory or villain's origin story. So I think that'll be a lot of fun to show maybe how that character evolved into the person you see her or the witch you see her as in the main series.
I've seen what's it it's like a play. It's like the Wicked Witch of the West, but like she's like mistakenly identified as a bad person, but not really. It's just like the way that people are viewing her.
No, she's a pretty evil person, and we don't. Well, we only get our character's perspective, right? We only get the hero's perspective.
Right.
So I haven't exactly figured out how I'm going to tell the story or exactly what her story is, but I want to develop her origin, where she came from, and what might have happened to her to make her see the world through her point of view, and why she sees the world the way she does.
Okay. Do you have a style that you prefer? Like, do you prefer fantasy or sci-fi? Like, is there a world that you prefer?
I think fantasy is my favorite world because it almost seems limitless. Like you could just create it however you like. That does come with some limitations. I mean, sometimes I create rules in my fantasy world that I'm like, oh, well, I needed to break that rule, but then you can't break that rule. So but that challenge is fun too. So maybe that's my favorite to write, although my romances, I like writing them because they have happily ever afters and everything seems to finish up with a bow
Do
on
you feel
top.
like the sci-fi stuff is like a little bit more you have to kind of follow the hard science just to make sure that it all vibes?
Yeah, you have to do a little more research. You have to be a little more careful. Like mine's not really hard sci-fi. I mean, do have some technical things, but I don't go into a lot of the descriptions of the technology. So I feel like I can, wince through those a little bit. But so I always categorize it as soft sci-fi. My husband is a hard sci-fi person. He will not say that it's hard sci-fi.
So I know some people hate to do this, but I always ask people to compare it. And the reason why is not to say I stole it, but say if you like this, you would like my stuff. So
Um,
with that in mind, what'd you say?
Maybe like Hunger Games or Divergent. It's a futuristic dystopian world. So you get a little of the Hunger Games Divergent survival vibe. They're not pitted against each other, but we do have like an evil commander character who they're trying to save the world from, basically. It's a pandemic book, but they're not. So I wrote it before the pandemic. Um, and they're not in the pandemic, but now there's a cure, but the person that has the cure is not sharing it with the rest of the
Did
world.
you notice like a sales spike with the pandemic? Like
No, nobody buys that book now.
I wrote a book called The End of the World, and when the COVID lockdowns hit, all of a sudden that became a much better seller because people are like, oh, it's the end of the world. You know, I noticed like TV shows like the Andromeda Strain and like that, like they all kind of took off with COVID.
Oh, that's interesting. I thought people were not reading that because I don't think I've sold maybe very few of those books since the pandemic. Yeah.
What was it like? People took it like in a better spirit before the pandemic, and after that, like that hits you close to home.
It does, yeah, it does. I mean, I even had in the book that the rumor was that it was started by the Chinese. So it was very eerily predictive of what actually happened.
Yeah, well, people they have all sorts of triggers these days. Like it seems like this made me seem old, but it seems like back in the day, as long as it's a good story, it's a good story. And I was like, well, maybe you didn't promote this I wanted, or maybe you didn't take this into consideration. I'm like, it's a fictional story. So, do you have a one thing that you try and get across? Like, there are some people like I really like Richard Matheson, like the people that have like they just want to tell you a story. So the characters are kind of bringing the story to life, but it's not like dependent on the characters. And you have some people who are like, I want to make a point, and to me that didn't feel as real because like they're kind of bending stuff to make the point.
No, I don't really have points in my book. I have more like themes sometimes. Whether it's like having faith or believing in yourself or perseverance or friendship or family. So my books sometimes have themes and I don't always plan for them to have themes. That just kind of naturally comes about because of whatever challenge the characters are in and how they need to find out how to overcome those challenges. So I always kind of, to try and unify my books, I always say that my catchphrase is finding the magic. And it may be finding the magic with technology or finding the magic of a beautiful sunset or finding the magic within yourself that makes you uniquely you and maybe uniquely suited to solve whatever challenge or problem that's in front of that character. So I that's how I connect like a general theme of all my work because I jump around so much. It feels like my characters are always, trying to find that magic within themselves.
Okay, and do you have any that like I mean, if it's a big hit, like you would consider like expanding, like you're like, I would love to tell more of the story if there's interest.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, I have those two complete series, but there's always opportunity for spin-off characters. In the last book of the Realm Chronicles, To Be a Fae, I put in 12 different beings that were needed for this spell, and they're all the way from a Nyx, which is a hybrid fish character. I wrote a short story about her, Brynja. So there's a lot more
Is it kind
characters
of
that can tell their own stories.
is it kind of like Abe Sapien from Hellboy, like the fish character? So it's like kind of a person, kind of a fish.
Well, they can change back and forth between a fish and a human, so they're never half and half. They're always one or the other.
Oh, okay, all right.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder if you picture kind of like the Shape of Water, or like Hellboy, where it's like the kind of like aquatic, but the kind of human. But now you're saying
I
they have different, like they go to different identities, so they like switch
right.
back
So
and
they're
forth.
more like a shifter person than a hybrid person or a half person. Yeah.
Okay, and all that is in the fantasy realm, which is like if you had to pick a genre, that's your preferred genre.
Right. Fantasy is probably that's the one that excites me the most, maybe.
Okay, and so if that really takes off, everybody's really into it. What would you like to achieve with it? Like, where would you like to go with it?
Would be I have audiobooks for both of those series, but it'd be a lot of fun to have graphic novels or games or some type of either a show or a series or a movie. Those are always fun to think about.
And would you prefer that more with like your fantasy series and like your, I think you said it was dystopian sci-fi?
Um, Probably because the fantasy series is complete, whereas my dystopian series, I haven't quite figured out how the main character is going to prevail in this scenario. So, I mean, I have an idea of what she needs to do, but I just like Game of Thrones, I feel like a series is better when the author has maybe completed it
Right.
than the directors just going off by themselves and writing their own
I
story.
so wish he'd completed that because like for the first few seasons, it was like the best thing on TV. The ending, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It was a
Uh,
little disappointing. And as an author, I can see why he might not want to write it now. Like I think I would be like, ah, whatever. Like, because there'd be so much pressure to get it so, so right.
right. Well, I think they ran out of his stuff on the fifth season. Like that's the last one. And like still the sixth and seventh, they were stronger than the eighth. Like not as strong as like the first few, but they're stronger than the eighth. I think totally like jumped the shark, do the phrase, whatever. It's like it just like so they spent all the seasons building up the wall. Then one episode, it's all done.
Yes, it was very strange.
But all right. So what would people? What do you have out now, and what would people look forward to?
Right. So as I said, I just finished the Realm Chronicles series last year with 2BFA, so that was the finale. And the audiobook, the final audiobook, comes out this summer. My perfect romance series, Perfect Secrets, comes out in June. Here's the proof cover to that one. And so I'm super excited about having readers be able to read that book.
Okay. And do you have any conventions or book signings lined up?
I do. I have a book signing here locally in Boulder, Colorado at the Sugar and Spice bookstore in June, and then one in July and August at Barnes and Noble in Colorado Springs.
Okay, and you just released a book. Do you have more like in the queue to come out a little bit later on, or are you working on something?
I am. I'm working on the next romance in the series, as well as kind of in my brain, some of those backstories for the villain in the Kingdom Journal series.
Okay, so in like the best way to see everything is to go on your website. Is that correct?
Yep. Yes, my website at triciacopeland.com. If you want to go straight to the romance, you can go to mariajaneromance.com, MARIAJANE, romance, ROMANCE.com, and get to my romance. But if you go to triciacopeland.com, it gets you to everything.
Okay, if people want signed copies, do they need to come see you at a bookstore, or they would email you and say, I want a copy but signed? Like, how would they go with that?
Right. There is an order form online. I think it's on my about page, but if you email me, that's probably the easiest way I can get it directly to you.
Okay. And do you have anything else you want to tell people to check out? Like even stuff, it doesn't even have to be you. It could be something like, oh, I love this fucking series, so you gotta see it. Like I tell everybody, you have to watch Fallout. Fallout is great. So honestly, like I write and I do illustrations. I have nothing to do with Fallout. I just think it's great.
Well, fun. Thank you. Yeah, I do have a podcast too, Finding the Majic Book podcast, which, like you, interviews authors. So that's a fun place for me to be, at least. I could talk about my most favorite book in the last couple of years, which was A Million Junes by Emily Henry, who is most often known as a romance writer, but this is a YA. I call it YA fantasy, but the characters are 18 plus, so I mean, coming of age-ish, I guess, but it's a Romeo and Juliet smash up with there's magical realism in there. I can't even describe it because it's just there's family drama, there's family history, there's the little romance story, and yeah, it's just an amazing book. So I always tout that one out.
Okay. And like I said, like I ask people kind of what you compare yourself to. So if there's like a kind of the theme in the like the presentation, what would you say it was?
Comparing myself to another author or to what?
So for instance, like people when they talk about Stephen King, they say the best thing that I like about Stephen King is he really makes the characters feel realistic, like they're like in your face. The thing with like Robert Matheson, it's like the stories are just so well thought out. It's like it's planned out from beginning to end. So I'm just wondering, is there something that you feel is like kind of like your strength, what you delve into?
I think it's more the proximity to the characters and really being able to experience what the character is experiencing because you have that first person point of view and you get really that depth of emotion of how they're experiencing their world, how they're experiencing their challenges, and those highs and lows within the story.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, I don't want to keep you here all day, but do you have anything else you want to throw out there for the social sphere?
Yeah, go to my website, see all my videos, and be a part of the world.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for appearing on this.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, Dan.
Please like and subscribe before he kills again.